Hi everyone, Anthony here, Aquascaping on the fly, living art creations, and your fly guy's guide, that's me, to all things aquascaping. What I've got here is a quick video about an update we did, or a project that we launched 2 weeks ago exactly. It was the comparison of buying our first set of aquarium plants. And we went with two vendors, the Aquarium Plants Factory and Buce website as far as ordering from. I can tell you today, I do have a preferred vendor so far based on our outcome. And I've been growing these in the immersed. That means just in water, where the leaves are above the water level to where they can take in as much oxygen as they want for healthy growth, which is how they're grown in the greenhouses that supply to all the aquarium suppliers. So I've got these two tubs here. I just did one video about the dwarf hairgrass, and it's been amazing. It's week 8, and they're big enough now that where we literally could, this is the tank they're going to go into. So this is the Trident series, and this one's going to be Turtle in Motion, which is going to be a full coverage in the front of the solid dwarf hairgrass. So I've got enough hairgrass now to where I really could start putting this one to good use. The other two here, we want to do something that's common between all three tanks because we want them to seem like they're in the same water, or at least in the same body of water with different elements in each one, and they're all going to have a wooden aspect as far as their centerpiece. Which is going to be off to that side of the street. I'm not sure if you can see it quite over there. I think you can see a little bit of it. But I do have the three wood structures that are hardscape that are already ready, and I have some of my rocks picked out as well. I do need to be selecting some smaller rocks for my Buce and my Anubia plants that I want to put in there, because I don't generally want to keep anything on any of the larger structures, so in case I move them around, so I'm going to have to put those on something smaller. But for this, I want to show you where we are right now, and also talk quickly about the water parameters and water temperature. I started doing some research on temperature because what comes out of my tap water here, and by the time I let it set, the temperature is around 69 degrees, and that's where it's been staying, regardless of what I put my thermostat on. And in the summertime, I don't expect it to get much warmer than that, because all last summer, this unit stayed pretty much hovering around 70. And now that we're in winter, it usually stays between 62 and 65, with me just having to have the heat on just a little bit. And I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that I'm on the ground floor, and then I have west exposure windows on here. So I'm getting the sunlight in the afternoon when it's coming through, which is warming the place up. But as far as the temperature, I know that I want to put shrimp into the aquariums. And I know I want my plants and my shrimp to be able to be in a very comfortable environment for that ecosystem. And so I was doing some research, and shrimp like cold water. Most of the plants like very cold water. And when I'm saying cold water, I'm saying usually like 70 to 72. I'm right there at 69. I do have, almost tripped, I do have 3 heaters that I purchased, just in case. In case I want to keep the water a little bit warmer, let's say put it at 72 or something like that. It wouldn't have to run that often, but at least it would be consistent throughout the entire year. So we're going to talk about that more when we get to the builds themselves, about what to do with that. As far as the water parameters, I was really kind of shocked. I started a logbook, and so my first baseline test, this is coming straight out of tap water. My pH was 7.6, which is really good, considering that most plants can go from a 6 to a 7.5. So I'm right there at the edge. The water I'm using in them now has been treated, it's been dechlorinated, and it also has the API fertilizer in it. So I'm using water that has been adjusted. But it kind of makes sense that everything I bring in, like especially on the scavenger hunts I go on, I wash it right out of the tap, usually in hot water, and leave everything sometimes under for 2 full hours and let it set to make sure everything's killed off that is on that plant. And I've had no dieback from even the moss, which are much more sensitive to any type of chemicals being placed on it. So I'm kind of happy about that I'm kind of right there at that range. But the ammonia, that was just a 0.5, nitrate 2 was 0, nitrate 3 was 0. So at least for where I am in north central Texas, those are really good going for right now, and the temperature really is good. So I think we're going to be okay. And if I didn't, I probably wouldn't have. This dude here is still lasting. He's been here 2 months. This was ordered online from an unknown vendor, and this is water Sprite. That's just, at the time, that was just tap water with some gravel. The roots have already clung to some of the gravel in there, so there's no substrate but gravel in that one. And that's been growing the whole time. But let me adjust the camera so you can see these up close, and I'll give you a rundown on what happened with the plants that did die. Okay, so I am going freestyle, so forgive me if it rocks a little bit. So here's the first, this is Turtle in Motion, already mounted to their rock. And right here is what I'm calling prayer hands. These are both ready to go into their respective aquariums. They're gonna sit right next to each other. And here's the rocks that are gonna go into all 3 aquariums. This I just found yesterday. I found this in a stream bed. I love it because the bark's all gone. It's got these beautiful colorings. It grows perfectly with the rocks I have. Matter of fact, this stick and this piece of driftwood both were found in the same location. So I'm really excited about that. And I wish I could put them together because, oh my gosh, look at that contrast. The contrast is amazing. But this will have to go in something different because I don't plan on putting any like of twigs other than these main 2 structures and the larger ones that we're showing right there. Okay, so here you've got your water Sprite doing very well. Here I pulled out, these were from cultures. So they were crowded in their little containers, so I just spread them out into a couple of bowls. Again, that's just treated water. They've been in there for 2 weeks. They're doing very well. Here is really, most of this is the Aquarium, or is it Aquatic Plant Factory? Aquarium Plant Factory. There's most of theirs. This little one that's died back is not. That's from Buce. That is also from Buce, and here's another one from Buce. Buce also had 3 die off immediately, cryptocoreans. 3 of them died within the first night. Unfortunately, I was on a trip. Their policy is take a photo within 12 hours, and then they can do like a replacement. So for me, I have to say Aquarium Plant Factory was a better option, because everything is doing very well. Yes, of course, I expect things to die back, because who knows what temperature these were grown in, and I'm growing it in probably a much cooler temperature. But Buce has a bigger website, and it has a lot more plants. So I am going to give them another order. I mean, what they did was they offered me 15% off of my next order, which they're doing for everybody, but they sent that to me in an email. So I am gonna do a separate order. I'm gonna give them another try, because I just don't feel like my time here is so limited when I'm not flying, to be able to drive 45 miles to a plant store, aquarium plant store, to find what I really need. When if I can get it online and have it delivered directly to me and I can get exactly what I want, I'm more into getting exactly what I want, because I know I want to grow it and then keep it in other containers as well. Speaking of containers, you guys see these lids? These are the lids that have the blue gasket around them. For those of you who have remembered the problems I've been having with the gnats, fruit flies, whatever you want to call it, it was because I was growing everything in growth containers. I had my limbs up here covered in moss, and that was a massive breeding ground for them. And I finally had to say goodbye to the moss from the limbs because it was just torture on me. The gnats were out of control. They were going from one breeding container that had some plants in it into another. They were able to get in from container to container, and then it meant, you know, trying to battle them was just a nightmare. So I've gone to this newer method, and it's so much easier. So what is the overall plan for the top of the studio wall? Well, where you see the 3 Trinity tanks situated right now, I plan on having houseplants growing out of top of those. And so I knew I was going to need a structure to hold the plants up there to, you know, attach them to something as they grow. And that's the whole point of having the living structure above the tanks. And it's hopefully will give me something to attach my lights to that will shine down on the tanks themselves. So that's the big question. And for those of you who did not know, the light with the logs, sorry, here in the corner, I built that. That's a custom light fixture. That's a shutter with logs, and it's been attached to the shutter. And then I have a spotlight under each one of the logs. There's 3 spotlights that shine down, and that's going to be for one of our display pieces right there. I think it's going to be for a bowl aquarium. It's going to go right there. And I think that's it for this video. So if you like this, like the content, I'm excited because I've gotten a lot of really positive feedback about the propagation for terrarium and aquarium plants. Please like, subscribe, and comment. Comment, I think, is the best thing because it opens up a dialogue between myself and other people watching the videos, and to where we can learn from each other and help each other out. So until the next video, you guys have a great day. Bye-bye.